Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I have got a Tops El Chete sheath to show you today. This one is pretty interesting. It's a simple setup, but it's got some really cool features on it. So let's get right into this. If you haven't already checked out the El Chete, it is a really large chopper from Tops. This thing gets a serious amount of work done in a short period of time. If you guys are looking for a good knife that you can do a lot of hacking with, I would definitely recommend you check out the El Chete. It is a little bit pricey, but maybe find one cheaper used on eBay or something like that. It's just a great knife. So, all right, this one is going to a gentleman named James. James asked me to do a setup for his El Chete. Obviously, it's a taco style sheath, which means it's only got eyelets on the one side because it's a one-piece sheath folded over the spine of the knife. So that's what you're looking at there. He asked me to put leather over Kydex, and he wanted the leather to be dyed burgundy with kind of like a fade to black as you get out closer to the edges. So that's what you're looking at there. I'll talk a little bit about more about the dye job in just a minute. And then obviously I'm wearing it on a sling. This is from Beachin Tactical. If you guys haven't already checked out Beachin Tactical, great guy, great company. Jacob Peterson, he's with obviously Beachin Tactical and the Preppers Bunker Outdoors. He's designed some knives. He does excellent world-class webbing work, and he's just an all-around great guy, combat veteran, fellow Army guy. So I'm a big fan of his work, and I think he's great to work with. So I try to order all of my slings from him, and this is what you could expect to get from me unless you specifically request something else. But all right, so moving on, we also have molly locks on the back. How I've decided to set up the two carries is I've got one D-ring for the baldric setup hooked right to the tip of the sheath. I have another one as well as the molly locks on this kind of thick adapter plate. All of the Kydex that you see on this sheath is actually made from the same thickness. It's all from 0.125 inch thick Kydex. That's 1/8 of an inch thick. And as you can imagine, obviously the two layers are coming together here, creating a 1/4 inch thick edge. And then this plate is also a one piece folded over, so it is a 1/4 inch thick. The D-ring's also a 1/4 inch thick, all along the edges. So that just makes this extraordinarily durable, extraordinarily rugged. I've become a huge fan of using 0.125 for any kind of mid to large size knives. At first, I think I had the same mindset that a lot of makers have toward 125, which is that it might add some unnecessary bulk or weight, and that maybe because of how thick it is, the rigidity of the material would make it less practical or less comfortable to use. But what I have found is that it's exactly the opposite. Yes, it does add some weight, but it's not all that much weight. The thickness is basically indiscernible while you're using your tool because what you're going to notice, like less than 1/10 of an inch of thickness. I don't think so. As far as the strength that it gives you, it's above and beyond as far as the trade-off goes. I think it's well worth it. The other thing is, it's not at all compromising the draw. It gives really great retention, and I think in a lot of cases better retention. Now, better doesn't necessarily mean stronger. Just for the record, how I'm approaching the terminology here, I don't necessarily define strong retention as good retention. You could have really overly strong retention, which makes it difficult to draw your knife, which is not what you want, especially in an emergency scenario. What you want, what I would define as good retention, is you can take your sheath, turn it upside down, give it some really solid shakes, and your knife doesn't come dislodged. At the same time, you can easily draw that with one hand and no issue. But check out, you just heard that click. It's got a monster positive click in, right? I'm not slamming it in there. That's just the click that it's got. You can see here, I'm not pushing. I'm just... The thing has an amazing click. It's also a ballistic one-handed draw, which for a knife this size is just kind of ridiculous, but you can see it just wants to fly right off. So all that kind of comes down to the 0.125 just kind of allows you a little bit more freedom and liberty as far as how you set up your eyelet spacing and all that. you know, how far you can have the eyelets from the actual retention points on your knife, and all that good stuff. It's kind of the geek end of Kydex, but I really enjoy thinking about and talking about those kinds of details. So let me know what you guys think. Would you be put off by getting a sheath that's a little bit thicker if it makes the retention, in my opinion, better? I'm not necessarily making it stronger, though you definitely could. The thicker the Kydex, you can make the retention stronger. But is the weight trade-off worth it? You know, I think you're adding maybe 2 or 3 ounces in a sheath this size. Well, probably like 3 to 4 ounces is about what you would add, trading up from 0.093 to 0.125 for a sheath this size. So maybe even 1/4 of a pound you're adding to your sheath build, somewhere in that ballpark. But the strength is also, you know, far and above a 25% increase, in my opinion. So I'd love to do some kind of testing on that so I could actually, you know, say with certainty what the difference is in terms of strength and all that good stuff. But someday I'll come up with some kind of test that works. Maybe comment down below if you have a good idea for a cool destruction test for Kydex that would actually demonstrate the strength differences between different thicknesses. I'm busy booking and building orders right now, so I don't have too much time to come up with something like that. But I'll take any suggestions and ponder them for a little bit and maybe come up with a really cool, fun test. That would be a fun video for you guys, I'm sure. So anyway, there's not too much else to show you. Real quick on this dye job. So I don't have any kind of spray rig, although I think that's coming in the near future. It's just something I've wanted to get into because I love, you have a lot more control over the degree of fading you do, and you can just do some really, really outstanding and cool things with the spray. So with this one, what I had to do was dye it burgundy, dye the whole piece of leather burgundy, and then I kind of blot around the edges and just use a rag to kind of drag it up toward the middle. Obviously, the further you drag it, the more it's getting absorbed into the leather, and the less of it is actually getting pulled along. So a thinner layer and a little bit of a fade. I think it came out pretty good. Some of the lighting here is not really doing it justice, but in person it's not quite as much of a contrast. I'm looking at the screen. The red is coming out a lot brighter on camera than it actually is, but I really like the look of this. I think it looks really cool, and the color choices are really nice. And I love doing this kind of dye work. I really enjoy it. I think it just gives things a lot of character in the look. But let me know what you guys think. Do you like that? Do you like the fade job? Did I do okay with it? Etc. All right, guys. I'm gonna cut this video short. Usually I don't get them this short, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll with it. Let me know what you think of the sheath. Let me know what you think of the Chete, about Beachin Baldric, if you've got any experience with Beachin Tactical Baldric slings, and anything else you want to generate a conversation about below. We love to have that on the channel. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this video, if you like this sheath, if you like the Chete, hit that like button. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and of course comment down below. Share this video with all your friends. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around for the next one. God bless.